as you can tell, I'm in my classroom and it is time for day one of classroom setup. I got a lot of work ahead of me. I hear the air conditioning, but it doesn't feel like there's air conditioning at all, but we'll get going. This is real life, hardly any makeup because I'm already sweating and I just stepped in the classroom. Fortunately, I work at a school that allows me to leave all this stuff on the walls, so I really just have furniture and things like that. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Rachel Vincent and this is my 20th year setting up a classroom. About to go into my 20th year of teaching and it makes me feel old every time I say it. I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Carolina and I am happy you are joining me on this adventure.
Can we just talk a minute about the realities of setting up a classroom all by yourself? I don't know if it's because I'm older or if after doing it for, this is my, like I said, my 20th year, it just, for lack of a better word, sucks to have to do this every year. This day was miserable. It was so hot. And of course, you don't want to scratch any of your newly waxed floors. So you do everything in your power to carry things instead of sliding them across the floor, because that's what I would have done with these chairs if it was the middle of the school year instead of picking them up. I mean, day one is always hard because you're moving all the furniture that the custodians just placed in the middle of your room like this. But it was harder because, one, I did not have air conditioning that day like I thought I did. And two, I didn't have a fan. And you will see in the next video that comes out, my day two, that I brought a fan and the day was so much better because when I got hot and tired, I could just sit in front of that fan for a little bit. And can I also talk to you about this shelf? This shelf was a beast. So the bottom is not solid, so it wouldn't slide on that dolly very well. And then it was crumbling because it was so old. There are pieces of particle board all over the classroom after trying to move this into place. Yeah, I'm telling you, realities of setting up a classroom, nobody tells you. Nobody talks about the fact that we have to do this every year. And then this is me trying to figure out my new area. I created a new sort of setup for myself, and so that took a lot of trial and error. So I'd move stuff over there and try things out, and I finally, on day two, got it all figured out. You'll see that in the next video. So this is me struggling how to work this vacuum cleaner. I unplugged the wrong hose and it was blowing out air instead of sucking it in. So I finally figured it out, got to vacuuming my couch, which was very dirty. They probably put stuff on it during the summer. But this is the point where I really started to get hot. Well, I was hot the whole time, but I was really starting to I got to the point where I couldn't even think anymore. I ended up going to sit in my coworker's classroom next door in front of her fan, and I probably sat in there for an hour just talking with her while she was setting up because I just needed to rest, and you can really see the exhaustion and frustration here on my face. But after that break, my other coworker came, helped me take the tables off of each other so I could slide them into place because that is really a two-person job. You can see her pop in and out. She's across the hall there working in her room. And so this is always another hard part of setting up a classroom, is making sure that you have enough space for all your students and making sure that there's plenty of walking space, sitting space. And even though I have set this same classroom up 5 other times, it still was a struggle. And probably because I'm reset my area and my small group area, so my table was in a different spot, but It took some trial and error to figure this setup out again. I finally got all of the furniture in place to where I thought it would go. I knew I needed to bring in sort of this taller table that I had to sort of finish out my space in order to make sure it all worked out. So I switched over to putting all the books back into my library, and at some point during this whole craziness, my neck fan dies, and then it really got bad. I mean, this is the end of the day, close to probably 2 o'clock at this point. I'd been there for several hours. And then I got to the point where my battery died while I was filming, and I had backup batteries, but I was so done that I was like, I don't even care. I'll just make day 2 part of day 1. And then I realized I actually had a lot of footage from day 2, so I went ahead later and decided to keep them separate. So I don't have an outro for this video because I was over it. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching the realities of setting up a classroom with no air conditioning. And please come back for day 2 because it is much better. I get more done. I am much cooler and a much happier Rachel. And I show you around what I got accomplished this day and what all I get done in day 2. In the meantime, if you'd like to see everything that I got for my classroom this year, check out the video that's on your screen now.